Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and today we're going to take a look at the tangle Murfi from CZT Katharina Nonigsbauer. I hope I pronounced that right. I had to think about it again. I'm like, wait a minute. No, I think I got that right. Okay. This is an interesting tangle, and it is inspired by creatures under the sea. I will let you go to the description section and read for yourself. All right. It's very interestingly constructed. And again, the other reason besides the story is take a look at Katharina's samples, because there's a lot of interesting ways that you could do this. I'm going to do it as the step out shows. All right, so it starts off with, and I separated some things out just because. All right, so I'm going a little off of the center, and we're going to just make two parallel lines. And the other reason, as I say, two parallel lines, they don't have to be straight. Make sure to go look at the description section. She's got some, they're going, all over the place. Like if you imagine a sea creature. So however your parallel lines are, they will be fine. All right. And then at the end, we're going to put a bulb or a part of an orb. I don't know what you want to call it. It's orb-like. All right. Then from here, we're going to connect all of these ends. So I was trying to hit around the center. And I suppose you could do this, where it's like, well, I feel like this should be here. And, and then we can connect them afterwards. Or just whatever happens, happens. That is always, usually that is my go-to option. So just like that. So wherever it ends, make a, whatever degree that is, angle. And what would that be? Is that 90 degrees? I don't know. All right. And just continue all the way around with these four main spokes. Okay. Then we're basically going to be continuing the spoke idea and the bulb at the end. And yeah, and this one I split up as well. Just, I don't know. I just have this weird need to do that. Mostly just because I'm deconstructing the step out in my head, and I'm like, well, if I need to kind of deconstruct it, maybe somebody else needs to see it too. Oh, I did that rather large, and that's nice. Okay, so doing that, and then I have another thought, but let me just share. Here's what we're going to do is from here, we're going to put a little very minuscule curve line coming from each side, because as you can kind of see, what's going to probably happen is we'll have an orb-ish type shape that's created here. Now, as I was doing it this way, and then because we're going to do a whole nother round once we go and do these four, I was thinking that it could also be easy enough to do this. You could even just do the parallel lines and go around and then put the orbs in. Sometimes I really like doing the same stroke and then turn, do the same stroke, turn, and then, do the next stroke. Like that. And then, so I don't know. Sometimes it is just depends on my mood type of thing. But I was almost thinking that doing it this way might be easier, because then you can come back and thinking Halabow might be easier to put these lines together as kind of one thought process. look at how nice that turned out. Yeah, go look at my step out where I did not do that. As I was, playing with it and doing the step out too. It's like, yeah, no, let's, this might have a nicer result, but it feels better for me to do it this way. So I just want to throw that at you. Okay. Now, and this next step, I'm gonna save those to last, because what we're gonna do is in between these, and honestly, again, looking at the step out, she's got, wait, how many? It looks like she takes it another level after this. It's just crazy. But let's do that. And so then you kind of decide, well, how far up do I want, this next, these next curve lines to go? So I'm going to do it there. And I want these all to fit in. So then it's just a trick of trying to get them all to be kind of the same-ish. It's also why it's a good thing that there's no such thing as a mistake in Zentangle. Part of the reason as I'm just thinking now, because I'm like, oh gosh, I wonder if I could do that all in one stroke, this part. And without thinking about it on purpose, that could be why that I like to separate some, because in my mind, that's the question. And so as I want to share these, I want to alleviate that question, or, if you can, great. If you can't, I wouldn't want someone to think, oh, I could never do that, because, well, it's the, I haven't used the phrase in a while. Well, no, it seemed like, maybe it was not too long ago. Before that, I hadn't used it in a while. It's too much like art, saying that my friends and I would say as we were learning Zentangle and learning some of the cool other things. And if it was just like, yeah, I don't know, that's just too much like art, so we're not going to do that. All right, let's see. Where do I want to start with these? Well, I guess I'll just start here. And it's the same idea that we did here. And again, I'm thinking it's easier to do this all in one stroke, one frame of mind. It's not one stroke because you're picking up the pen. But see, then here I can adjust that one. It just got too sloppy in my book. Doing it the other way. And again, one continuous thought. I like the way this turned out way better. Although it doesn't look too bad in the step out. But this felt a lot better to do. Okay, now, deciding how to shade or decorate. I do like that. Oh, she looks like thickened some of the lines going around. And there's just some interesting stuff. So let's see. I think I'm going to... Actually, I like the one thing I did in the step out, but I'm going to take it a step further. And, actually, you know what? Take it a step further. I'm going to copy what Katharina did in hers. Here's where I started. And it was mostly because I needed to course correct this. But, you know what? Wait. Let me think. Let's do this. I wonder. I just want to try this. I'm thinking of the Tangle, I think it was called Chemistry. And it was so interesting how having a curved line kind of like that gave the illusion, I like it already, that it was like it was a physical orb on top of a grid. And I thought about it as I was doing it, but it was too late. That's why I just all of a sudden thought, let's try it here. So I'm just doing a little C-shaped curve line at the base. And that could give the impression... Let me wait till it's finished and then look at it. And I might need to put some shine in there with a white gel pen. She says. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring this up a little bit higher. And the nice thing about when you fill in is you can do stuff like this. Because I want this curve line to be real visible. And if I can get this to look more like an orb, so it looks like it's stuck into something else. That was what I was going for. And I think it might have worked. What will help is some graphite. So let's just do. And you know what? Even if it doesn't really look that way, it still looks neat. And I'm going to stick with it. Let's see. Got a little white there. Let's see. Ha! It's interesting. We'll leave it at that. Okay. And I'm thinking, let's just put some graphite. And I'm doing the pick a side and stick to it idea of shading. Generally, when we shade, and you know what? I just did it. We just did a shading class, and that was the one thing that I didn't add is that generally in Zentangle we don't worry about light source and all of that kind of thing. I mean, if you can do it, great. So this is why that's what I call it, is the pick a side and stick to it, which works pretty good. But of course, if you are good at doing that, worrying about light source, I mean, you feel free to worry about it and, incorporate that. But if you're like me and you don't have that background and it takes too much, it's like, okay, I try, it's like, I understand it. But still working on it. And I could see where it would just be second nature at some point. But, we still get some interesting effect like this. I'm trying to think where else to put something. I feel like right here, where this goes over, the over and unders, and well, I guess that one technically too. Since that's the case, well, let's just do this. I can just make this, bring all of that graphite over, because I also don't want it necessarily to compete with that. And then I could make that darker too. Yeah. It's just interesting. That is all there is to it. And I kept seeing it, and I'm like, okay, you keep saying let's, my turn. So it's its turn. Oh my gosh. Like I said, it's neat. It's neat. I could see this. I mean, it's nice to know that the inspiration was from under the sea. But I could see this also as kind of a dandelion-esque type of tangle. The ends can just be different a little bit. Anyway, neat tangle. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click on the like button. And if you liked it enough to see more, would love to have you be a subscriber to the channel. In the description section, I've already mentioned, you can see the links to the step outs. Below that, though, is my link tree, where if you enjoy my style, come and join me online tangling with the other Tangle addicts. We do that on Thursdays. I do it 2 times, 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. It's free. It's only an hour. Like I said, it's free. I do them. Let me back up. that is my time here in Michigan, Eastern time. We just have our daylight savings. So use the links that are on the link tree to follow me. So that way you can calculate if you are not in the States, or if you're in a, state that doesn't change. It's such a mess. It's not a mess. We've been doing it for a long time. But and I did look up the year. It wasn't not too long ago that they changed. It was bad enough that they did it, let alone, I think it said 2007. They moved it like a month or so earlier. And I was like, oh, come on. Because when you have it kind of ingrained in your system and then they change it even that little bit, it's just crazy. But anyway, so that way you can follow me. You can get reminders if you follow me on those. It's Facebook and Eventbrite, and have the reminders in your time zone. Makes it easy. We like easy. Also on that link, I mentioned our the other Tangle Addicts. Well, we have a Tangle Addicts community on Facebook. It's a group, and you can join us there too. When you click that link, there are 4 questions that you have to answer. It's all self-explanatory there, so explore, have fun, and thank you again so much for watching, and I wish you happy tangling.